Okay, Dom, I made it. Here's my little house. I got a bunch of stuff to clean up. Look, there's a bunch of flies. This started off as a video for my friend Ram. And at the beginning, I was just making this for one person. And as I began to film, I began to realize this is sort of interesting. I could share this with a lot more than maybe just a couple people, because I find it a very fantastic thing that keeps happening to me. Let's back up a little bit, shall we? This is my little sister, Natalie, our creatively named cat, Kitty, and myself, visiting our mom in Seattle back in 1983. Super fun times. In 1978, my parents moved to Ireland. That's my older sister, Kimberly, holding on to my dad's arm. And there I am, riding on my Uncle Deke's shoulders with my poofy hat, not a care in the world. My family had moved to Ireland to try their luck at managing an old estate called Castle Hewson, just west of the city of Limerick. My family has owned this property for hundreds of years. It's a sprawling complex with a castle keep, manor house, and an active farm. In the back is a walled garden. Here I am as a young child. I had the best time growing up playing in forests. I even had a tractor to play with. More on that tractor later. Here's my older sister Kimberly voguing out in a kitsch antique room. And not to be outdone on voguing, here I am. In 1979, my sister Natalie was born. Here's my mom, lovingly gazing upon her in her crib. Here's my mom with her hand out. No photos. Everything's just great. Everything's just great, right? Well, like most family, parents got divorced and everything changed. Okay, progress. Got all the grass picked up with the help of the awesome quad, but really the help of my stepmother, Veronica. Yeah, we did it. After my parents split up, my dad met a local girl named Veronica. You're going to be seeing a lot of her. My dad and Veronica have been together ever since. We stayed in Ireland till 1984. We were the last people to stay in the big house. My dad and Veronica began to farm an almond ranch in the Central Valley in California. It was a big difference from Ireland. Rattlesnakes, water irrigation lines, and heat. Extreme heat. After work, we'd spend all of our time in the pool in the summertime. Eventually, my dad and Veronica got married and started a life for themselves in the United States. Yeah, got a lot of work done in one day, thanks to Veronica. Round of applause.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Anytime.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Divorce, marriage, castle, almonds, extreme heat. I'm in an apartment in Los Angeles right now. Really confusing. I know, it's confusing. So I'm setting up the backstory here, just bear with me. In 1998, the sole owner of Castle Hewson, Morris, died in a fire along with his wife, Pamela. This tragedy was of epic proportions all over Ireland because Morris was distantly related to Bono, something I knew nothing about. Morris lived down the street from Castle Hewson on property called Lock House. My cousin Sean, grandfather, and myself went to Ireland to go investigate. You see, Morris's closest living relative is this dapper-looking young dude here, my grandfather. My grandfather's father, Gordon Sr., a lot of Gordons here, was Morris's uncle. Both Gordon Jr. and Morris shared a grandfather, George Francis Hewson. All right, let's go in a little deeper. George had 8 children, a huge family by today's standards, but quite normal back in those days. We are going to focus on 2, Kathleen and Gordon Sr. Okay, as you see, Gordon Sr. is the son of George, and Gordon's son is my grandfather. As we can see here, Kathleen is George's daughter and Morris's mom, and well, that makes my grandfather and Morris first cousins. Whew. Oh man, this genealogy stuff makes my head explode. Okay, my head's back together. A strange story, a tragic story. In fact, there's a lot more to the fire story, and I will save that for another video. So in the interest in keeping the train on the tracks, let's just keep moving along, shall we? In Morris's last will and testament, my father, Bill Hewson, was named as the main beneficiary of the estate of Castle Hewson. There was one stipulation in Morris's will, which was my father had to move to Ireland within 1 year of Morris's death. And this left us with only one option. At that time, I had begun a career for myself in the film industry as a grip. I have gotten to work on all kinds of TV shows, feature films, music videos, and commercials over the years, and had the pleasure of working with some very interesting and intelligent people. Because being a grip means that you have to solve problems. And being a grip means you get to do the insane things that no one else wants to do. And also being a grip means precision. It means constant problem solving, long hours, and fortitude. The thing that I love the most about being a grip is camera movement. I love working as a dolly grip, and it's what I do to this very day. Here is a video of when we finally got to go back to work at the height of the pandemic, and it's amazing that I was able to work with that visor. And this is what I wanted to get at. In this next series of photos, it's not a film set. This is in Ireland. This is when our well pump went out, which is 470 feet underground, and the liner popped out and we were pulling it out. And also when my sister's chimney was completely clogged and everybody was in danger of dying of smoke inhalation. Because the thing about Ireland, and especially Castle Hewson, is it's tough. You need fortitude to fix things, and most importantly, a sense of humor, because everything rusts and everything falls apart. Hence, this is why I call this channel Castle Hassle. Warning, warning, warning.
Completely broken. It just broke right off. I don't know why that happened, but that's really...
The CDI completely burnt out. He's breaking off and landing on the driveway right over the electric fence. And then it would send water out the same direction this is going into, but we got a leak somewhere in between here and the wall.
So I believe that this is the culprit.
It just popped right out. Okay, now we're gonna do is turn the water on
and see what happens.
Look at that. It is absolutely... Damn it. Alright, I'm gonna go to the shop and see what I got. Power of the PTO needs to run to power this box to split this here firewood. And as long as that works, I'm happy with it because I'm not doing it by hand. Start on the bolts of the wheel. Road's not bad. Try to go up a little bit. That steering arm is supposed to look like. Okay, this is what it looks like now. God damn it. Ugh. It's really frustrating. Okay, almost 4 hours later. These cheeks still, they were filled up with water because the head gasket had fouled. So it's quite a bit of work to clean it up, but it's a really badass little tractor. Turn off this sump up here. Do not want to turn this off because it reboots this whole system. And it was plumbed backwards, which was confusing the entire system. So we fixed all that. My dad is mad about it. You keep on changing everything that I've done. Well, sometimes you gotta change it if it's backwards. So anyway, yeah, this is the water system for Castle Hewson. It's really called Castle Hewson, but I call it Castle Hewson. And this is why I call this place Castle Hewson. I think it's time to introduce myself. My name is William Hewson. I'm going to be taking you on an adventure together. We are going to share some frustrating experiences. We're going to learn how to fix a whole bunch of boring stuff, but that's not the intent, my intent for this channel. I don't really want this to be a DIY channel. There's a lot of DIY channels. We're gonna do some of that, but what I really want to do is share the story of Castle Hewson. Share the story of the Hewsons that live there. Because it's an improbable place. It's unbelievable. When I'm there, I don't really believe it's happening. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. I've never done anything like this before. I'm very private. But I guess it's time. It's time to share. So, I'd be totally honored to have you on this adventure. So, let's continue on, shall we? I don't want to reveal everything in one video, so what I'm going to do is take the broader experience of Castle Hewson and break it down into smaller stories, which I will cover in upcoming episodes. In the next episode of Castle Hewson, let's take a tour of the forests of Castle Hewson, and I'll share some of the projects I've been doing over the years. Also, and this is very important, let's take a deeper dive into the history of the place. Also, it's time to introduce some more characters, keep the story going. And if you're lucky, and you are going to be very lucky, we are going to get to share some more frustrating experiences of everyday going-ons at Castle Hewson. Rain. Lots of rain. It's rainy in Ireland, can you believe it? It's raining. It's raining on this window too, look.